Right. So with this guy and any of these exercises, really, just remember if getting to 120 is a struggle for any of these, cut everything in half time wise. So basically, if any 16th note will become an eighth note, any eighth note become a quarter note, so on. So imagine that might happen on this one, maybe not, but any of them really. And if you do find you need to cut it to eighth notes, you're welcome to just do like the first two bars instead of doing the whole thing. So this way it's equal amount of time going between the eighth note version and the 16th note version. Or so big thing to keep in mind is how heavy you're pushing your hand into the string for the palm mute. So remember, you got to be gentle with it. You don't want to. Basically, the sound you want is that right there. As soon as you start pushing in, then it starts to sound, well, garbage. So we don't want the garbage palm mutes. I'm trying to get that sound there. We need it. So chunky when you're doing it there. So if it starts to sound scratchy, there's a good chance you're pushing in too hard. Pay attention to how your hand feels when you're playing it slow versus fast. Like, so when you really start to feel like you're pushing into the guitar, then that's where you got to back off a bit and stay more in that realm of playing. You're playing fast for you with the comfortable hand. I hope that makes sense. So again, like I mentioned last night, got plenty of other tricks up the sleeve to work on here. So one of the new things I suggest is that go ahead and start going up by 1 beat per minute increments if need be. So let's say you get this to 130 and you notice that every time you get to that, try and go past that, that's when you're pushing down really hard on the strings for the palm mute. So maybe back off to like 110 or even 100 and then start going up by 1 beat per minute increments there and see how that treats you. See if you're able to keep control over your palm mute pressure better. Think if there's any other things before demonstrating here. I think that's really it. Oh yeah, the other thing. So just make sure you follow all the palm mute directions or anything that we do or non-palm mute stuff, to the letter. This way it just gives me a better chance of being able to help you. So yeah, I put all downstrokes here. So every single one of these, you want to do downstrokes, absolutely. We're going to work on that down picking speed and accuracy, and there's a chance, like if I was to do something like this without, I might naturally want to do down, 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 up for the arpeggio part, but we want to work on just that continuous down, down, down for this. And let's see. That's right. And then when we get to this one, really want to make sure, even there here, we want to, all three of those strings are getting picked there. So if you can watch your right hand while you do these, that would be very good. And anytime you notice that you're no longer hitting all three strings, then either force yourself to strum wider or you need to back off the speed. Now, eventually, you're going to be doing some stuff, we all do it, like if we're playing like really, really fast. We might put like the big open chord there, hit all three strings. But like for the really, really fast stuff, we're probably only going to be hitting 2 strings. But we're not trying to... Let's see, the goal with this right now is I want you to get good at playing all 3 strings as fast as you can, okay? So it's just like, think of it this way. Like if you were playing something and it called for you to strum all those strings as fast as you can, just because you go faster and faster, doesn't mean that it's okay to just strum like a couple strings here. So it's kind of the view I'm taking when it comes to what's on the screen right now. Yes, in metal, you're going to be playing some stuff to where it's palm muted things. You probably will only be playing 2 strings because it gets so fast that you can't possibly hit all 3 strings. But I want you to get better at hitting all 3 strings, so this way you get more pick control. So that's the goal with this week anyway. Let's do some demo speeds. So 60 to start as usual. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a bad note. I'm gonna do that again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you notice, I'm also doing the kind of picking you're doing there, putting my arm out more. It just works for something like this to stay in that bent wrist position with the downward slant. So, totally acceptable thing to do. Alright, and we'll just do 200 and call it 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that better. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. A bit of arm was used at that speed there. So again, it's fine to do that so long as everything sounds correct and you're not palm muting too hard and changing the tone of the palm mute. Alright, number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm even palm muting that final chord there. And yes, it's totally fine on this one to let those notes ring out, so you're not having to do it like that. So yeah, go ahead and just keep that chord shape down the whole time. That's fine. Alright, double time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I wanted to go to F5 all of a sudden. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You may need to strum wider than you think. So that's kind of one thing I'm thinking of right now when I was playing that. Is strum wider than you think, so long as you're muting the chord, or you're muting those 3 strings properly while you're playing these power chords, it's okay to strum a little bit wider. 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. There we go. 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you will notice that, like, as you're getting faster with something like this, you're going to start putting more muscle into what you're doing, and it's going to feel like you're picking a little bit more intensely. That's okay, so long as you're not pushing in this way into the guitar body and putting too much pressure on those strings. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I notice I'm now putting in a bit more oomph to maintain picking that wide and that fast. So again, you're going to feel most likely more strength being used to play that wide and that fast. But that's okay so long as you're not doing that. Okay. And let's try 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's too much. I'm not going to be able to hit all 3 strings very well there. Anyway, number 3. So same thing here. Strum wider than you think you need to. Make sure you get all 3 of those strings hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. I think that's good enough there. It definitely gets more and more challenging as you go faster and faster. You're going to have to notice to maintain all those wide strums. More and more muscles are going to get used there. I think that covers everything. As if you have any questions at all, let me know. Just like you've done in the past, if you are unsure of anything looking incorrect or sounding incorrect, always welcome and encouraged to make a video, send that to me so we can do the midweek check-ins and whatnot. Anytime you feel like that would be helpful, do it. And yeah, I will see you again Friday.